Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Battleground preview and predictions. We have got, I want to say like 8 or 9 matches. We've got 8 matches tonight, 7 on the main show, 1 on the pre-show. John, tell me, since you always pose this question to me to start things off, I'm going to pose it to you first. How excited are you on a scale from 1 to 10? How hyped are you for this show?
You know, partner, I really honestly thought about it, and I think the most honest answer I could give, I'm at an even 6 out of 10 for hype.
Oh my God. How are we always right around the same number? I feel like we're always at either the same number or at least like plus or minus 1 from each other. It's pretty crazy.
So you're a 5 out of 10, or are you even more hyped than me?
I'm spot on this time. I'm exactly a 6 as well. I was going to say that as well.
Oh, wow. Holy hell. Yeah, dude, it's like, and here's where it gets even crazier, right? The most interesting stuff this pay-per-view has to offer, to me, lies in the undercard. Breezango's reveal of who destroyed their office, concluding their investigation, to me is actually what I'm looking forward to the most, though I heard something today. We're going to have, hopefully, a spirited discussion about it. And what else was I going to say? The tag title match. The return match between Usos and New Day. Like, those are really the 2 things I am looking forward to the most, and I'm only looking forward to the flag match because it's Rusev, and it's his first match back, singles match, since this whole thing started. So, yeah, I mean, what exactly are you looking forward to on this pay-per-view, do you think?
I think that what I'm looking most forward to on this pay-per-view is pretty much everything up to but not including the main event. I'm not looking forward to the Punjabi prison match, but everything else looks, pretty good. Even the pre-show match, Dillinger English, shouldn't be bad. We're not going to be watching it, but I'm sure it'll be decent. Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis, I'm kind of looking forward to that just because I'm curious, because it is a rematch from this past Tuesday. I'm curious how they're going to go about the booking of that match. Nakamura Corbin should be fun. I think local for match of the night is going to be Cena Rusev in their flag match, but if they don't have a match of the night, we know Styles and Owens will. Plus, we've got the 5-way women's #1 contendership match and the Usos versus the New Day for the tag titles, and really, all those matches should be relatively entertaining. The only match that I just don't care about and don't expect to be good is Mahal Orton in the Punjabi prison.
And you have every right to. But you know what, though? You talking up the rest of the card, and I got to be honest, I did not give the proper due to Corbin versus Nakamura, because that is another match I'm looking forward to. You got one guy that's just been so white-hot in Nakamura, is really a fucking rock star right now with his receptions, thankfully. And Baron Corbin, who to me, he's on the bubble right now. He's got the briefcase. I've already talked about how I can't wait for him to cash in. So I think this is an amazing pay-per-view match for him to elevate his stock. That should be a lot of fun. So yeah, really you laying down the card that way, I'm even more excited to talk about each of these individual matches, their strengths, their weaknesses, and what we think is going to happen here. So let's not make any more haste. Let's get started.
All right, well, let's just roll on then. We will, we're not going to be watching it, but we might as well just predict the pre-show match, Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English. And I think that this is like the 2nd or 3rd pay-per-view in a row that they're pre-show, and I think this is the 3rd time in a row that I'm going to predict Aiden English to win, because I just don't trust them booking Ty Dillinger to win a lot.
And oh God, I am just so done with this match, and mainly I'm more done with what this match represents, because they faced off at the pre-show before. Dillinger won. There's no feud here. There's no story here. Ty Dillinger, it's amazing, main roster, the alchemy that you fucking pull off, because my favorite thing to do for NXT reviews is to kind of faux crap on the guy, channel my inner Johnny Scumbag. I don't even have it in me to do that, because I know Ty Dillinger can do more than what he's doing right now. And the idea that you really haven't figured it out is kind of maddening, just a little bit. Ty Dillinger for the win, and please, for the love of fuck, give him something to do after this, because I swear to God, if we come up here again for SummerSlam or the next big SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, because SummerSlam is co-branded, and Ty doesn't have a match on this card, I might physically hurt someone. Because you're talking one of the most talented guys that you've got, and you have him working Aiden English on the pre-show. That's a travesty. It really is. So, Ty for the win, and please, let's get him something better after this.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so then we have our first main show match, and I did my best to sort the main show matches from least important to most important. So we're going to start with the match that means absolutely nothing, in the sense that we just got this exact match on Tuesday and a definitive winner in the match. So Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis. Mike won on Tuesday, so I'm going to just pick Sami Zayn to win on the pay-per-view.
You know, this one's kind of a head scratcher to me, because the only way you kind of gain my interest is if, like, mid-match you eject Maria from ringside, because she was the difference maker in the TV match, and that's why Mike won. So if that's the story they're looking to tell, I pick Sami Zayn for the win. However, it seems like when you've got a heel with, like, extra backing in their pocket, like Jinder with the Singh brothers and now Mike Kanellis with his wife Maria, it seems like Sami can never really get the win because it's always too much for him to bear. So you know what? They recently broke the 50-50 booking formula with Bray and Seth, with Bray beating Seth, you know, at the pay-per-view and then again on Raw. I'm going to say SmackDown does the same thing here. I'm going to say Mike Kanellis is going to beat Sami Zayn for the second time.
That would be interesting. And you know what? Since you're predicting Ty and Mike to win their matches, it would be interesting if we got a Ty versus Mike Kanellis feud going forward, maybe even leading into like a SummerSlam pre-show match, because obviously Ty has been relegated to the pre-show. So if he's going to be on the pre-show, might as well give him something interesting to do rather than just beating on Aiden English every month. So, hey, how about Ty Dillinger versus Mike Kanellis on the SummerSlam pre-show? That's like the second biggest pre-show of the year.
There you go. I mean, you got to do something with him. And Mike Kanellis, I don't want them dragging their feet with him either. The guy's money. I love the gimmick. I think it has a lot more mileage than maybe even we're initially seeing, given the hands that this gimmick is in. So yeah, I'm going to get all behind Mike Kanellis. I'm going to say he beats Sami Zayn again, and what he does next is anybody's guess. So unless you have anything to add, I've got nothing more to say.
I've also got nothing more to say. We have 5 matches left to talk about. I think, did I do that right? Oh no, we have 6 matches left to talk about, but only one of them is not a stipulation match and has nothing on the line, and that's Nakamura Corbin. So let's talk about that next.
I'll give the floor to you. Who do you think is going to come out on top? What do you think about this match, et cetera, et cetera?
You know what? I know. The thing is, I really like the idea of keeping Corbin strong and finally doing something different where the Money in the Bank holder doesn't lose a lot, but it's still Nakamura. I can't imagine them having Nakamura lose this early into his main roster run. I've got to go with Nakamura.
That makes sense, dude. You know what a, like, ravenous Baron Corbin fan I am. I'm elated he has the briefcase. You and I have been advocating for this man since seemingly day one. And I'm proud that this is one we share. You know, it's not one that I just got on or you just got on. I mean, we've both been putting in the work for Mr. Corbin here, and we're finally seeing dividends. That said, you're absolutely 100% right. It is still Nakamura. He is still the focus right now. And I wouldn't even care if Baron got a dirty win. I would love to see him win, but it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to play around with that. I feel like I've already kind of put my feet to the fire a little bit by backing Mike Kanellis for the second straight time. I'm not feeling that confident here. I'm going to say Shinsuke Nakamura for the win, but a very competitive match, though, which should make Corbin look good.
Yeah, I'm actually, as far as match quality goes, this is probably number 2 on my list behind the U.S. title match.
Absolutely, man. I think these guys can really do some special.
Not number 2. It's not number 2, number 3. Because number 2 is actually this next match, John Cena versus Rusev in a flag match. And I know Cena and Rusev, as individuals, you look at them and you're just not like, oh, wow, yeah, that guy can totally put on a match better than a Shinsuke Nakamura match. But you put them together and realize that Nakamura is working with Corbin, who does tend to work a little slower and doesn't really have any kind of experience in that strong style that Nakamura is definitely going to want to use. That has some potential to be a little bit of a botch fest, whereas Cena Rusev, it's tried and true. We know what they can do. And I think they've both gotten a lot better since the last time they've had a match. So I'm very curious to see how this match plays out.
You know, and I mean this is the biggest compliment to both guys. I don't think you could put a concept as hokey as a flag match into more capable hands than Rusev and Cena. I think they're going to turn something that really, with anybody else, would make me groan and vomit from, like, the in-your-face patriotism, and they may actually really be able to put on a compelling match, and again, I'm quite confident they will. That said, while I adore Rusev, and in my ideal world, you know, the heel would come out on top. And I have flip-flopped on this because I've even said publicly, are they doing this type of match so that, you know, Cena can lose and not take the pinfall or submission loss so early into his return? And I'm still kind of waffling on that, but you know something? That SmackDown promo, I'm going to be honest, it scared me a little bit in the sense of, like, people who have watched enough of our preview predictions, they know sometimes I can put my balls on the table, come up with out there predictions. But between his promo about those colors don't run and mentioning 9/11 and then Rusev actually getting the beatdown and then the heels winning the tag, or no, I'm getting that confused because that was Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin, not Kevin Owens and Rusev. My apologies. But either way, you know, Rusev came out on top, right? And after that promo and Rusev coming out on top, I have to think John Cena is going to get his because it's not just about John Cena. It's about America. So I'm going to say, yeah, John Cena wins.
Yeah, Cena's winning. I agree. No argument here. I don't even have any other points to add because it's one of those things where, yeah, of course Cena's winning because it's John Cena and it's his first match back from a big hiatus and they're making it all about America. So yeah, Cena's 100% winning this match, no doubt in my mind. I haven't even looked at Vegas odds, but it wouldn't even surprise me if this was the match with the longest odds. Like,
yeah,
like it's the most sure of itself that Cena is winning this because there's just no way that Rusev's got a chance here, unfortunately. And hopefully though, after this, we'll probably end up getting Cena versus the WWE champion, and then I'm just hoping Rusev gets something to do that's more than just literally nothing. Like, even, you know, we have a few matches left, but we'll get around to AJ Styles. If AJ does retain, it'd be really nice if we got a Rusev versus AJ Styles feud at SummerSlam.
I think those guys could kill it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, my God, yes.
And you know what? Maybe that's why they put the title on AJ before Battleground, so that Battleground could be Kevin Owens' rematch and they could get him out of the U.S. title picture entirely.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, too. I mean, not to reveal my hand too early, but I completely agree with that assessment for sure.
All right, so then we've got, well, this is the first match that actually has something on the line other than, I guess you could say, national pride in that last one. But, Women's Championship match, #1 contendership match. Women's Championship #1 contendership match. We've got Charlotte, Becky, Natalya, Tamina, and Lana. God, man, I hate to do this because, like, I feel like you have this idea of who you're going to pick in your head, and I'm about to just throw a wrench in it. But I think Tamina's going to win this.
Wow. Didn't Super Blue also say the same thing so I can keep everybody's name straight?
I have no
Because didn't
clue.
Super Blue call his shot and say, yeah, Tamina's going to win? I did not think you'd come around to that way of thinking. I'm not opposed to it, mind you, but I sure as hell don't agree with it. I think all signals are leading to Naomi and Charlotte at SummerSlam. It's a co-branded pay-per-view.
What signals are you referring to?
Well, here's my thing, right? On Talking Smack, they asked Naomi, who's your dream opponent? Charlotte. They have unfinished business because of that whole mess of the angle when the welcoming committee came into town. And then on the go-home show, Becky made Charlotte tap. I am convinced Charlotte lost on TV so that she can bounce back and win on pay-per-view.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I gave you my reasons why. Whether you think they hold up to scrutiny or not, that's up to you, but that's my pick. Charlotte's my pick.
I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm acknowledging that you're right and asking why they're insisting on putting cunt again.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I'm nowhere near close to the Tamina fan I used to be, because when she was actually being used and actually had athleticism, I actually really dug her. But it's like, what the fuck happened to her career? But I am intrigued by this story of her protecting Lana for whatever reason, and so I'm thinking it's either going to be a Becky Charlotte rematch where Charlotte wins this time in the end, or if you really want to make Charlotte that baby face, it comes down to her versus Tamina and Lana overcoming a 2v1 situation because Lana's got Tamina in her pocket.
Whoa. Is this elimination? Because I didn't hear anything about this being elimination.
I assumed it was an elimination match. If somebody could chime in, I thought they said 5-way elimination match, and that's why I had in my mind that it was going to come down to Charlotte and Becky. If it is first fall of the finish, I mean, I'm still going with Charlotte, but I guess, yeah, she would just pin, I don't know, Natalya or somebody worthless.
Holy shit. Okay, it is an elimination match. I did not know that.
All right, well, I'm so glad I was able to make that reception then, because, yeah, I mean, does that change your thoughts at all, knowing that it's elimination?
Dude. Oh.
Oh, my God, you're in so much pain. Holy shit.
I hate so much. Can't Charlotte just, like, get attacked before the match so that she's not actually in it and she's not even an option to pick?
But then wouldn't somebody have to take her place? Like maybe Nikki Bella, for instance?
No, it'd just be a fatal 4-way. Fatal 5-ways are unnatural, okay?
I mean, I don't disagree, but it's funny that we talk about this in the context of Charlotte being in a fatal 5-way. She's winning, dude. She's winning.
I know she is.
But you know what, dude?
Tamina, though, do you really honestly want to know my reasoning for that?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Yes, but before you even go into that, let me just say, I almost hope you don't back down because I feel like we've had conversations like this about other performers before, and I do wear the egg on my face. So if you want to buck up against it, I mean, the record's more on your side than on mine. I just feel like all signs point to Charlotte, and I can't ignore those signs. But doesn't mean those signs are leading me down the right direction. So please, floor is yours. Why do you think Tamina is going to win?
I think Tamina's going to win because there are literally only 2 heels in this match. We need a heel, or at least I was under the impression that we needed a heel to face Naomi at SummerSlam because, you know, I actually care about the heel-face dynamic, and the only other heel is Lana, who's already had 3 shots and failed miserably. So naturally, the only person left is Tamina, who's actually been getting talking time and TV time and a little bit of a mini push in the weeks leading up to this.
That is true. And I'm even going to throw you one more brick in your camp to kind of build your foundation. That same talking smack that I cited where Naomi talked about Charlotte, who else did she talk about? Tamina.
Tamina.
Because they asked her, what do you think about Tamina helping Lana? And she's like, you know, I used to run with her. And that's another reason they could go with that match, the team bad history. Why are you doing this, Tamina? Whatever. And then I changed. I looked at my life and I didn't want to be that negative person. I want everybody to feel the glow. And then Tamina just keeps laying around with super kicks. Plus, I think she pinned her in a tag match recently. So, dude, here's the thing. Your Tamina argument, it's not like it's got busted legs.
The really crappy thing, though, is that our 2 predictions are the only 2 really logical predictions, with maybe Becky Lynch being a potential third option. And, like, it comes down to Charlotte and Tamina, and frankly, I don't want either one of them to win, but I'm setting myself up for complete and utter failure because if Tamina doesn't win, the only other person that will win is Charlotte, and I'll literally trigger next to my temple.
I mean, man, I feel bad for Naomi because her run has been a little weird. It hasn't been atrocious by any means, but it's just been weird. And I do feel like it's going to end soon, probably at the hands of Carmella, who I can't lie, I am excited about that prospect. But yeah, honestly, dude, I do hope you're right. Look, I may have my feelings about Tamina, but like, if you really want to build up Charlotte as this babyface, I know Naomi wants that match.
They shouldn't want to do that because that's a bad idea because she's awful.
But, I mean, they do seem to want to do it, though, dude. So I'm just kind of speaking more in the general sense here.
I know what they're doing. I'm just saying what they shouldn't do.
I don't mean to hurt you, man. Like, I feel like this conversation is physically hurting you right now. But, yeah, I just feel like... Because, see, I even heard a rumor...
Charlotte and be done with it, please.
I mean, possibly. I don't know.
Underground and make me even more miserable. Son of a bitch. There's no way out of this.
But, like, I think I even heard a rumor a while back, and I always take those with a grain of salt. You know the policy here at Premium Predictions, guys. But that they may have wanted to do a Charlotte-Carmella feud, and if you want to get Charlotte over as a face, that makes more sense to me than her having this match with Naomi, because Carmella's actually a legitimately good heel. And, like, she may be the best bet of Charlotte getting any kind of support, you know, long-term. I mean, except from the 2 of us, because we'll be cheering for Carmella all the way, but I digress. So, yeah, you know what, dude? Fuck. I might actually switch sides at the last minute and go with your Tamina pick.
No, you're not allowed, because every time you switch sides, we end up being wrong. And if you switch sides and switch to Tamina, we're going to be wrong. And then it's going to be Charlotte. So, no, you're not allowed to switch sides.
You do make a compelling case, though, to be fair. Because, like, why Charlotte? Why not just save her for Carmella? Like, because that feud I can tell you is going to happen. And that I'm not backing down with. That I could tell you with the clothes on my back. Charlotte and Carmella will be feuding before this calendar year is up.
Well, let's just have Charlotte and Carmella feud going into SummerSlam so that, you know, Charlotte can beat Carmella, and then that night Carmella can cash in on her Money in the Bank, and we can continue the feud, but with the title on Carmella. Like that's like the exact thing WWE is probably going to do, actually.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna come over to your side. I really didn't expect to, but like, yeah, I'm seeing your vision, man. I'm seeing your vision, and I'm thinking it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, I guess there's exceptions because you figure that the first co-branded SummerSlam, they did Ziggler and Ambrose, and both were kind of baby faces, but one played the bully. So maybe Charlotte could be Naomi's bully, but like, I don't know. She's awful at everything.
Well, no, but that's the thing, though. The champion is always the bully in those matches, not the challenger. Jeez.
And honestly, like, I can't even really buy Naomi as a convincing bully. And that's not me trying to insult her. It's just me trying to be honest.
To be fair, she kind of got to play the bully role against Lana.
That is true. That is true.
And anytime she's in the ring with Carmella, she kind of feels bullyish. With, like, the one thigh kick sends Carmella off her feet.
Yeah. Oh, but no, well, I can't believe we've had this much of like a drawn out conversation about this, but yeah, in the bottom of the ninth, I'm going with you. Tamina's gonna win this fucking thing, and it's gonna be amazing. Because fuck you, Charlotte. Now, are you gonna abandon me again and say Charlotte's gonna win,
Dude,
or are we gonna sink in the ship together?
Legitimately considered, but I won't. I'll be loyal for one.
I'll be honest. The idea that you even considered it does kind of nurture my complex.
See, that's where you're wrong. I didn't just consider. I strongly considered.
See, okay, well, thank you, because now I feel even more justified. The idea that you strongly considered really fed my complex, but the idea that you chose to stay with me while we sink to the bottom of the ocean like two stones, that means a lot, fam. I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna remember this.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, now that we've both jumped onto a sinking ship, we might as well move on. Let's talk about the Usos versus the New Day. Honestly, John, this might be the hardest one for me to pick because, like, it's like, what, their second? Is this their third match, or is it just their second match on pay-per-view?
It's their second match. It's their second match.
See, and that's, like, the hot spot. Like, that's where, like, the face team challenging the heel team, and on the previous pay-per-view, the heel team walked away and got counted out. This is like the hot spot for the face team to pull out the win, but I don't want the Usos title reign to end. I
don't want it to, dude. Look, I don't mean to get on my soapbox here. First of all, I completely agree with everything you said about the difficulty in predicting this and all that. I just look at this. I feel like the Usos are on the up and up. And, like, I know we've already been splitting up enough tag teams, so I'm not trying to make the problem worse. But, like, to me, New Day has run its course in terms of, like, going for tag team gold. You could keep them together, but I'd love if we did a storyline where they were pursuing singles interests. I've wanted that for so long now. That said, oh, God, I don't even know who I feel like has had more momentum in this feud going into this rematch. Because what? Did you see something? Did you think of something?
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting fact. The Usos, down since day one-ish, t-shirt is actually selling better right now than any New Day shirts.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's very interesting to me.
I did not see that coming whatsoever, because I can't find a New Day shirt. There's one right there. The New Day Authentic Booty O's Youth t-shirt is their best-selling shirt, and that's like way down on the best-selling list. So, you know, maybe the New Day's merch magic has run dry. I'm picking the Usos, man. I'm rolling with my boys, the Usos. I don't want this title reign to end. And based on the marketing and the sales, I don't think WWE's going to want the title reign to end either.
Let me ask you something real quick before I lock my pick in. You think these guys are going to become like organic baby faces? Because I know we talked about that after the
No,
rap battle segment.
I don't. I honestly don't necessarily think. I mean, it's possible. Obviously, it's always possible, but I don't necessarily think so because the Usos are both so good at getting that heel heat that I don't think necessarily that they're gonna allow themselves to get into that territory.
You know what? I'm gonna ride with you again, bro. One, because I love the Usos, and two, you know something? Because I just finished Glow today. I know I told you this already, but now my audience can breathe. They're like, "Oh, John finished Glow finally." So feel free to hit me up on the Discord, guys, to talk about it for those that are members, and for those of you that don't have it yet. First of all, donate, but then you can hit me up on Twitter. But it's like the director of the show said: there's always more money in the chase. And while I do enjoy the New Day, I think it's time for them to evolve. I don't want them chasing tag goal anymore, so it is a selfish pick for sure. I don't know how much logic's behind it, but you mentioning that stat does make me feel a bit more emboldened. I think I'm going to ride with you and the Usos. I'm going to say they retain again. And I don't know what they do next, but they'll figure it out.
Go Usos, go.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's crazy though, because like the thing with the New Day when they had their super long title run, I feel like every pay-per-view when we did our preview and predictions, I would always check .com's best sellers on their t-shirts. And New Day was always in the top 5, top 10 at worst. And especially when they got a new bit of merch, they would always be like number 1, 2, or 3. And yeah, man, that carried them really for a long time. But now I saw the Usos shirt was at 25th overall, and I didn't see anything New Day until I got into like the 40s or 50s. So New Day's merch momentum has slowed down considerably, which means either A, they need new merch, which I mean they could get, and that would just ruin my theory entirely because then it would be like top 5 bestseller, or it just means that WWE isn't pushing New Day anymore, and they're going to kind of put them on the back burners for a little bit. And maybe after this whole feud is through, we'll get the Usos versus the Fashion Police.
I would love that. There is one thing that concerns me about the whole Usos thing and everything else. And I know I'm kind of jumping the gun. Well, let me just ask you, just so I know how much of jumping the gun that I'm going to do. What were we going to talk about next? When were we going to talk about the Fashion Police segment? Were you going to do that next? Or
I don't even have that on my list because I only have matches written down. But we can talk about it now if you want. Just because.
Yeah, you know what? That's perfect.
Really,
I'll talk about this now.
Plan for it at all.
I don't want to be like the pin stuck in the balloon here and just pops and lets all the air out. Because I'm hoping this rumor is just another false one in a kingdom of millions. But I've heard the rumor that the people that trashed Breezango's office are a reunited Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Now, I hope...
I called it on SmackDown Live Reactions. I called it.
Now, I hope that's fucking wrong, honestly, because I love...
No, let me ask you, though, where did you hear that rumor? Because if that was like a Bleacher Report thing, it could have very easily been an opinion piece.
I originally read it on No DQ, but they usually take their stuff from elsewhere. So the better question is, where did they get it from? Yeah. Because let me see if I could find it real quick. Okay, yeah, here it is, because I knew I read it today. Okay, no, that was Dave Meltzer. And no, they didn't cite a source. Because no, the Dave Meltzer thing was for another rumor, not this one. But yeah, just for all intents and purposes, right? If this is correct, first of all, I fucking hate it because Luke Harper is an amazing babyface, and shame on you, SmackDown, for not getting behind what you had. Because I don't know, I see a really hot act in there, and you're just regressing him again. And Rowan, for that matter, I was kind of intrigued by his whole different mask, potentially a serial killer kind of videos he was doing on his own time. Like, let these guys fucking fly or sink or whatever. Don't be so goddamn conservative with acts like this. But the broader point, if it is true, these guys may really want to go for tag gold this time. And they may want the New Day to be those faces that Harper and Rowan pursue and go after. So it's really contingent on who destroyed Breezango's office. Because, you know, it seems like a heel team regardless because Breezango are baby faces, but I think those guys are probably going to run through Breezango and then go for the tag titles. Ah, fuck. Fuck. Because I want to lock in the Usos so bad. And honestly, Could the New Day even get a rematch at SummerSlam if Usos win here?
Yeah, they definitely
Is that
could.
even a possibility?
It wouldn't surprise anyone.
You know what then, dude? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do kind of a cop-out, and I will readily admit that. I'm going to say that Usos are going to retain here, but I definitely think New Day are going to win the tag titles at SummerSlam them, and I still fucking hate it, but I think whichever heel team trash Breezango's office, they'll get through them, have the little program with them, and then by the time New Day win the tag titles and the Usos get their rematch out of the way, probably on an episode of SmackDown Live, then that team is going to be like, oh, we're back together now. We're ready to go all the way this time. So New Day, we're coming for your title. So yeah, Usos retain. I will lock that in with you, but I'm definitely sensing a title change by SummerSlam because whoever destroyed Breezango's office, fucking hell, I think they're going to be pursuing the tag titles. Now, before we move on, what do you think about that segment though, since we're already talking about it here? So, give me your thoughts.
My problem is, I have nothing to go off of. I haven't heard any rumors. I haven't seen any, articles or anything like that. So I just have no clue whatsoever about who the opposing team is going to be. Rowan and Harper was one of my guesses just because, really, that's, the only quote-unquote tag team on the SmackDown roster that could possibly reunite or rather unite. The only other combination that I thought of was Rowan and Kane because I've been saying for a while that Rowan is like a baby Kane, but that's never even been hinted at in WWE kayfabe, so I highly doubt that. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a really tough call. It probably would not surprise me if it ended up being Harper and Rowan. I hope that they have something more in plans for Luke Harper specifically, and I know freaking Ella, if she was in chat, would be asking for something better planned for Rowan as well. But yeah, it's really discouraging. Another thing I've seen a lot of people in chat mention, but I haven't actually seen any actual rumors on. Blake and Murphy would be incredible. I would be super stoked on that, just because those guys are doing literally nothing in NXT. And it's been long enough since they broke up that you could justify them being back together by just saying, oh, well, they found out that they could come up to SmackDown if they got brought up as a team and they settled their differences. So now they're here, that would be great. I would be ecstatic on that. But that's highly, highly doubtful because not only would that require a team to get called up from NXT, but it would also require two guys that haven't been a team in a really long time to get put back together for a call up from NXT. We're reaching way out on a limb there. There's just a very, very, very slim chance of that happening. And someone else, Racist Fan Rocks Force, said in chat that the trade for Jason Jordan is so that SmackDown can call someone up from NXT. Hey, that's possible too. I wouldn't put anything against that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a tag team getting called up. It could be a singles person. It could be just Buddy Murphy. It could be just Wesley Blake. It could be No Way Jose. It could be Almas. We just don't know. There's no way of knowing. So it's really hard to make any kind of predictions here. Paul just said it's heavy machinery. That's definitely not happening. Really, I find it even less likely that it's an NXT team now I think about it because they really need to bolster their tag division because the Dusty Classic's coming up and they need as many able-bodied tag teams as they can possibly get since Gargano and Ciampa broke up and they lost the Revival and Alpha in the last calendar year. So yeah, they're really kind of screwed as far as tag teams go. It's gotten down to the point now that they have AOP, Sanity, and Heavy Machinery, and that's it. They have no other tag teams. They're getting Street Profits, but the Dusty Classic is a 16-team tournament, and they're probably going to end up with Red Dragon being in there, but I can't even think of any other teams that they could have. So it is a big question mark as far as the Dusty Classic. So Blake and Murphy, doubt it. Heavy Machinery, absolutely not. There's a 0% chance of that. Maybe a 0.1% chance of Blake and Murphy. But yeah, I have no clue, man. I need help from you on this because Rowan and Harper is the best guess we have. And that doesn't even seem likely just because Harper's only been babyface for 4 months now. So it doesn't seem like they would turn him back this quickly after he's only been face. And really, he's been relatively successful as a face. He's getting positive reactions on pretty much every show that they actually use him on. So I don't know.
Yeah, dude, and again, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying right now. What would frustrate me is if they turn Harper heel again, they must feel on some level in their minds oh, the babyface experiment was a failure. No, the way you utilized the experiment was a failure. He didn't fail. He was clearly connecting with audiences and being an act that I think was gaining momentum. But, like, you didn't even acknowledge him that much in the Independence Day Battle Royal. Got eliminated super early, way earlier than I would have had him be eliminated personally. And, you know, with Rowan, he's just always on and off the grid every couple months, it seems like. So it's really disheartening. And see, here's why I don't like the Blake and Murphy prediction. Like, I love it in a fantasy sense because I love them as a team. But when you have an NXT call-up, at least in my mind, they should have some kind of a profile beforehand. And I'm not saying these guys don't, but like in that what have you done for me lately sense. We haven't seen Murphy, and we saw the last time we saw Blake, he was getting Claymore kicked by McIntyre. Like, I feel like if you're going to do a call-up, I feel like these guys have to do a little bit more than that just to keep them fresh in everybody else's minds. So I don't think that's even it, because Blake hasn't even, or not Blake, Murphy hasn't even done anything on NXT, and I think he's just itching to like get on the fucking shows. Yeah, dude, I'm actually gonna stand behind the rumors on this one and say it's gonna be Harper and Rowan, which freaking sucks. You know, it really does, but like, yeah, I can't really think of any better option, and even that one has holes to your point, but I really can't think of who else they do because you already kind of exonerated the Ascension. Plus, even if you didn't, they already lost at Backlash to Breezango. So, yeah, Harper and Rowan it is, and that is so fucking awful to me. Ah, Jesus. So, yeah, I got nothing else to say about it. I guess we can move on.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is rough.
Yeah, it is.
You know what, though? Would it surprise anyone if freaking Aaron Rift, the guy that runs No DQ, got that rumor off of, like, a Bleacher Report or a Reddit post or something like that? Because, like, I just Googled team on Reddit in the last 24 hours, and one of the top voted things on Reddit here, well, not top voted, but one of the top results is someone saying, what if the team the Fashion Police are looking for is Luke Harper and Eric Rowan? So maybe Aaron Rift just browses Reddit looking for ideas for articles to post clickbait bullshit, because that's what No DQ is, let's be real.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, he found this random post on Reddit, and he was like, oh, someone said that could happen, so I'm going to say it's being reported.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why they use such vague language, right? They use language dressing like, oh, there's been speculation. I love that word. Speculation, like, who's speculating, motherfucker? Say a fucking name.
Some random dude, Chaotic Messiah on Reddit is who's been speculating.
Yeah, like, and here's the thing. That's why I always say, like, I do like to talk about the rumor mill, but I always say never take it seriously, because in the words of Detective Dango, they ain't a real journalism. So, yeah. I don't know, dude. I am still looking forward to the segment, but I swear if those two are the ones that come out, I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna be one of those moments on live reactions where you can actually hear my heart sinking, because you just gave up so much in my mind for so little. And so we'll see what happens, but it's all gonna be resolved Sunday, I guess. So nothing more to say than that.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, we need to move on. I feel like we're lingering way too long on this. Let's just move on. We're going to get there, and it's just going to end up being the Ascension again. Like, it's stupid. Up next, we've got our two main event matches, really. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, and Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. And honestly, I know we have, like, as far as order goes, the WWE Championship is technically more important than the US Championship, but let's talk about Mahal Orton first and get that out of the way, because Styles Owens, actually, oh shit, both of these matches are really predictable, aren't they?
Yeah, because, I mean, I can just tell you right now, bang, bang, I think Mahal's retaining and Styles is retaining.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. So, Styles Owens is going to be a much, much better match, though. I'm actually 100% certain of that.
Yeah.
And even if Mahal and Orton put on a 5-star classic, we won't know because we won't be able to see it because of all the bamboo.
Yeah, here's the thing. These guys are really pushing their luck now. Because what was the last SmackDown Live pay-per-view? I know it wasn't Backlash, was it? I feel like there was one. That was when Mahal won the title. So, what was the other one that just happened recent? Was it No Mercy? I feel like No Mercy was the most recent show. No, Money in the Bank. It was Money in the Bank. Why do I keep forgetting that? God damn it. So, their Money in the Bank match, I actually said I thought was better than their Backlash match. I even said I thought that they had an average match. It wasn't atrocious. Wasn't a barn burner. I thought it was the best match that these two could have together. You're really pushing your luck now. Doing another fucking match, but this time with a stipulation. Just have Mahal win, and please, for the love of God, let this be the end of it. I don't see Orton winning. I like the story that the Singh brothers are the only reason he's been protected. But dude, and here's the thing, and this is where the cynic in me comes out. How much do you want to bet the Singh brothers are going to find a way to get involved anyway, thus rendering the structure completely pointless? Because I totally could see that happening. Like, it just seems to be in WWE's playbook anymore. It's like when Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins were feuding, right? And they had their Hell in a Cell match. Oh, Hell in a Cell, keep Chris Jericho out. And they did this whole spot where he got the cell key and was able to come in and do his shit all over again. So it would not surprise me if the Singh brothers found a way to get involved yet again, Mahal capitalizes, and he retains the championship. Because this whole, we're keeping him out, to me, I think it's a bunch of horse shit. I don't buy it for a fucking second. And so, yeah, I just think Orton's going to lose because Mahal's going to get help once again somehow. So that's my prediction for that. I really got nothing else to say. Unless you have anything to add, I guess we could talk about the U.S. title very briefly. But again, I really won't have much to say about that either. But
honestly, man, I don't even really have that much to say about the U.S. title. We just saw recently on a Madison Square Garden house show Styles beat Owens for the title. I expect Styles to retain here, and the Styles beating Owens at a house show served two purposes. First of all, it helped create the idea that anything can happen at a Madison Square Garden house show, and it also means that this is technically Owens' rematch, so WWE can move on to any other heel in the company with AJ to feud with in the future and not have to worry about getting Owens' obligatory rematch out of the way because they're doing it here.
Exactly. So, yeah, to me, AJ retains. I'm actually, I wouldn't say 100% convinced, but I would not be surprised if it was AJ Cena at SummerSlam because they seem to really heavily tease that. They know they've got money in AJ Cena. And I think the pot's even a little bit sweeter because now they're doing it for a mid-card title, which I think is actually really cool. So, yeah, I say AJ retains, and I think, yeah, him and Cena are going to settle business. So, yeah, it's going to be a great match. Hopefully Kevin Owens finds something worthwhile to do after the fact because Rusev might get the Shane match he's looking for. He's still kind of egging Shane on a little bit. Shane had that helicopter crash recently, and Rusev poked fun at it. So, I think Rusev still really wants the angle. I don't know if it's a go or not. I have no idea what Kevin Owens could do. Ty Dillinger, it's just an idea. But, I really don't know what he's going to do. So a lot of chips are going to have to fall yet when it comes to the SmackDown side of SummerSlam. But, yeah, I completely agree with you. AJ's retaining here. Nothing really to dispute that. And that's all I got to say about that. So I think that rounds out our Battleground card.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I think I actually have a little bit of company going on right now. So if you want to do the outro for this show, you can go right ahead. And I'm going to just mute my mic.
Oh, wow. This is a very fortunate privilege. All right, guys. I guess it'll be the standard outro for me. I'm John. It's my co-writer commentary, Ashton. This is our Battleground preview and predictions. Thank you all to everybody who attended live, and especially to those who left a like. Please, on your way out, like the video if you enjoyed yourselves, because we have 19 people watching now, but only 6 likes. And I can see some people shuffling out. But yeah, if you're shuffling out, please leave a like, guys, because it just bolsters our chances of being the top search result for Battleground preview and predictions videos on YouTube. Not really going to say much else. I mean, we're continuing G1 Climax coverage. It's day 3 tomorrow, so we'll be going live at 3 p.m. We're going back to A-block matches. Should be a lot of fun. I mean, day 1 was incredible, and then today was just freaking amazing. So really excited for day 3. And only really 2 things that I want to plug. 1, the Patreon. We got the 3 pay tiers, live reaction review, live reactions, and, of course, the Discord. You guys know Discord's $3 a month. Stay there for 10 months. You get $30 to cash in a live reaction, and it's the most intimate experience you get with the TWitWoW crew. So if you haven't joined the Discord yet, please do so. I think it's a phenomenal experience. And Q&A, very simple. 4 questions per Q&A. You can ask questions to both of us or to either one of us if it's a more specialized question. And you can submit your questions either through Twitter, through the Discord if you have the Discord. And if you're not a Discord member because you haven't donated, first of all, again, for the last time, please consider donating. I think it's a really sweet deal. But if you don't have it, you can always comment on even this YouTube video with your questions. So yeah, Twitter, Discord, YouTube. And yeah, just get your questions in. Q&A is July 27th, so it's a week from now. And I really hope you guys join us. I think that'd be really cool. But with that said, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. And yeah, I just want to make this outro as painless as possible. I think I've done that. So let's all go home. Tune in and peace out, guys.